Lightning Crashes, the song, was really designed as a kind of, as my take on reincarnation, or the cycle of birth and death. This death happening and this birth happening in the same house at about the same time.
Written by Ed Kowalczyk, Lightning Crashes was released on Live's second studio album, Throwing Copper. The epic 5.5-minute song is track number 5 from the album and was the third single to be released from Throwing Copper. Live had released their first album, Mental Jewelry, and as lead singer Ed Kowalczyk put it, they were off the ground as a band. We hadn't sold a zillion records by any stretch, but we had done way more than we thought we would. So, with their first album behind them, Kowalczyk now had a clear slate, a blank mind to do anything he wanted to do. And this is where he came up with the song Lightning Crashes.
I was still living with my mother at the time. I hadn't moved out yet. I was 20. We'd just come off tour. I was like 20 or 21. And I had my acoustic guitar, and I was sitting in my brother's bedroom on the edge of his bed, and I just started to play, just out of nothing. No thought, no nothing, just, okay, let's just allow some kind of story here to emerge, and I'm not going to think about it at all. And what came out was Lightning Crashes. And to this day, I look back on it, and I really don't know where it came from, and I love that.
There were always theories thrown around as to what the song was really about, and we'll look at that more in depth in just a minute when we go into the lyrics of the song. But brought down to its simplest terms, the song is simply about the cycle of life, birth and death happening at the same time. And at the time of recording the song, this theme would become real life for the members of the band Live. When Barbara Lewis, a longtime friend of the band, was killed by a drunk driver while fleeing from the police after a robbery in York. The band dedicated the song to Lewis, who was only 19 when she died. It was something that we hoped would honor the memory of a girl we grew up with and help her family cope with the sorrow, which it seems to have accomplished. Keeping with the theme of the song, Kowalczyk said. Barbara was also a registered organ donor, and when she died, she helped save the lives of many people, including a 10-month-old baby who received her liver. So in the end, Barbara's tragic story there actually ended up playing into the theme of the song. Throwing Copper was released in April of 1994. The album's first single was Selling the Drama, followed by I Alone. And when the idea was put to record executives that Lightning Crashes would be the next single to come from the album, the idea was shot down. The record company wanted no part of Lightning Crashes being released as a single. They said it was too long at 5.5 minutes, and it would never work. However, the song proved to be such a popular hit on the radio, and the music video was put into high rotation on MTV, and this is where the song just blew up, and it actually became the band's biggest hit. The music video was shot by veteran music director Jake Scott in an old mansion in downtown Los Angeles. Kowalczyk stated, "While the clip is shot in a home environment, I envisioned it taking place in a hospital where all these simultaneous deaths and births are going on. One family mourning the loss of a woman while a screaming baby emerges from a young mother in another room."
There's just so much fun about it too, because I didn't really have much to do with how that video looked. It was just like, okay, let's make a video for this song and let's allow it to emerge. And that's why I think Lightning Crashes, the song in the video, is one of those rare moments where the visual actually assists in the delivery of the song. The crazy thing about Lightning Crashes is that, it was written long before I had any children. So, now I still learn from this song. It still has so much to teach me.
Lightning Crashes was recorded in the summer of 1993 and would go on to be released on Live's second studio album, Throwing Copper, in April of '94. The song was recorded at the famed Pachyderm Studio in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, and was produced by Talking Heads' Jerry Harrison. The song is structured in a pretty standard way. You've got your first 2 verses, and then you go into a chorus, and just 1 verse next time around with verse number 3, and then into a second chorus. Then we have an instrumental break, and to finish the song, we have the chorus repeated 3 times over. And so we take a look at the lyrics of the song now with Ed Kowalczyk himself talking about the song.
The lyric isn't about a mother dying in the act of childbirth. It's and it's not about an abortion, as a lot of people thought. Lightning Crashes, the song, was really designed as a kind of as my take on reincarnation or the cycle of birth and death. This death happening and this birth happening in the same house at about the same time. I think I might have talked to Jake Scott a little bit about, the lyric of the song, and sort of that it was somewhat about a birth and a death happening simultaneously, and the transfer of energy that never ceases. That it, in that sense, there really is no beginning or end. There's just this cycle that just goes on and on.
So Lightning Crashes, an epic song from the Monster album released by Live in '94 that was Throwing Copper, a hugely successful album for the band and a hugely successful song for the band too. In fact, this song was such a huge part of why that album did so well. Don't get me wrong, the album was chock full of hits, but this was certainly one of them. As mentioned before, originally slated by the record companies to not be released as a single, it just was not going to work. It was too long. Well, by God, were they wrong. It so worked. An amazing track from Live, just starts off quietly and just totally builds to a crescendo. As I say, this song went on to be a massive hit for the band. It is that song when people think of the band Live. This is the one song that they would always associate with the band the most. The epic and amazing track, Lightning Crashes.
Oh, now feel it coming back again, like a rolling thunder chasing the wind, forces pulling from the center of the earth again.